going on, guys? King Trats here, back with another video on the channel, and today is actually a repeat, another episode, part 2 of the highest rated Cuban food in my area. Last time I went to Casual Habana Cafe, 4.7 on DoorDash out of 2,100 ratings. I thought the food was so good and the menu was so big. Now that the year's kind of getting wrapped up, I'm starting to spin back to some of these places because I wanted to try way more of that stuff. So that is exactly what we did today. All new lineup, all brand new foods. Even managed to get some dessert this time because I didn't last time. Or did I? I didn't get what I wanted. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, without further ado, I'm not going to hold you. We're going to get right into this. I don't even know where to start because everything is just ridiculous. Yes, I do. I have to start here. First of all, let me just get this out of the way. This is a side of white rice and yuca frita. Fried yuca. Yuca's very similar, starchy, kind of like potato, but it's not. It's used in a very similar manner in a lot of Latin cooking, if you don't know. So this is what fried yuca looks like. Most Cuban places I've been to, a lot of other like island, South American type of places will use yuca as well, but this is yuca frita. I'm just gonna take a bite of that real quick. Very starchy, so very similar to a potato. If you like potato wedges or like steak fries, very similar, but I think that it holds up a lot better in ketchup and when you use dipping sauces because it's a little more starchy in my opinion. And also, they stay crispier longer because of that. So if you've never had fried yuca, you go to these restaurants, give it a shot. I've given it to people multiple times, and they're usually like, oh, it's a nice french fry. I'm like, that's not a fry. But just wanted to get that out of the way as well as this other side. Then we'll get into the actual entrees. Well, we got arroz amarillo, yellow rice, and some black beans. Every entree you get comes with 2 sides. I tried to get the other ones and we didn't do tostones this time because y'all know I don't really like tostones. But, oh, who's ready? Who's ready? What we have right here. Costillas de cerdo. I'm going to say it in Spanish too. It's basically ribs. Costilla de cerdo literally means pork ribs. So these are pork ribs right here, but the interesting part I saw is that they come with a guava barbecue sauce. So when I saw that, I had to try it. I love ribs, and I've never had like a Cuban style of barbecue sauce. They smell amazing. And they're very, and you get a lot of rib. All right. Oh, this looks good. Ooh. Oh. All right, here we go. Hey, a little slippery. Now, these are slow cooked, and I don't know if there's a difference. Obviously, I talked about when smoking ribs before, that you don't want them to fall off the bone, but when you do things more like with a slow cooker, that's how the texture is going to be. So I expect that right off the bat. I'm not going to, like, deduct points for that. No, but they have a good bite. Oh, shit. These are actually cooked perfectly. I was talking about this last time, okay? And when you judge ribs, see this bite integrity? The rib didn't fall apart when I bit it. But it's very tender, and it has just enough give that you'll be able to see teeth marks in it. That's actually what they look for. Yeah, no, it's perfectly cooked. And the barbecue sauce is super interesting. Almost bit a bone. Here, let me see, pull this off. Yeah. Okay. Let me get a little of this sauces on the bottom. Yeah, they're really good. The barbecue sauce has definitely like a guava underlying tone, which is actually different than anything I've had barbecue sauce wise. But it's really good. I never was a big guava person, but I used to get the empanadas with the guava and cheese in them, and I actually like really like them, and this is no exception. That is fantastic. Let me get another bite here. Damn, they just don't miss at this place. They don't miss. Yeah. And the order, I don't have to wipe my hands off. Get a pretty decent amount in here too. Nice big pieces. You can see I got one here, and there's another one underneath there. Not to mention, obviously, now I'm gonna try this. I gotta do this. I wanna get a little bit of this barbecue sauce on the rice. Y'all might hear like me make a really loud noise because this is what I live for right here. When you get like the sauce of something on the rice, let me just get a little bit of this. Let me just get a little bit of that rib right here, and then go in, and then go in, and then go in, and then go in. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. This smells unreal. All right, this is the bite we're looking for. Oh yeah. All right. See what I meant with the yuca? Now you go in, still gonna be crispy. That barbecue sauce, the guava barbecue sauce, they should sell this. They should bottle it and sell it. Because I can only imagine doing like my air fryer chicken with this barbecue sauce on here. That is legitimately an absolute home run. I'm glad I went back. This yeah. Alright. Give me another piece of the rib though. That's how you know. I'm saving that barbecue sauce. I love it. And like I said, the ribs are cooked perfectly. Still had bite integrity. And when you're done eating it, you get yourselves a pretty clean bone. Nice job. Nothing, I'm not eating this one. I'm gonna stay the last piece. I don't know why. Man, I love this sauce. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To the finger licking. Alright, one more piece of here. Massive W. Let's move on. I had to put the lid on. I'm not gonna lie. Normally in between takes, I will like move the food around a little bit. I took another bite of the rib, so I had to put the lid on because I'm just gonna keep, and I'm trying to get to the rest of this stuff. I don't know, I can't help it. Anyway, on to the next dish. Number 2, the same beef department. Last time I had ropa vieja, which was very close, but this right here is vaca frita. So what it is, instead of letting just a slow roast simmer on the skirt steak, what happens now is they actually will fry it in a pan and obviously have the sauteed onions and the same idea in there, but it's got a little bit more of a lime flavor to it, and there's no broth. But I've only had vaca frita once. It was a long time ago. So you know I'm ready for my return. Let's get the first bite. Yeah, it looks tender. I need to make sure I get an onion in there. Okay, look. I dropped it. That's a L. I'd stick my whole face in there if I wasn't on camera. They don't miss. Like, they don't miss. The meat is really tender, and you get the little crispy pieces because they fry it. And the sweet and the onions and the acid and the citrus from that lime. How one place can do so many different things to a skirt steak that just tastes like absolute heaven. Sorcery. It is absolute sorcery. Those little char pieces just add that like flavor. If you know, you know. Got nothing. Meals like this is just stuff that, personally, when I cook, if you watch my home cook stuff, you know I love well-seasoned, tender protein with rice. That's like my wheelhouse. So when you give me stuff like this, it just knocks the words, which is hard because y'all know I talk too much. And because they slow cook the meat beforehand, it's already really tender. Then you just, it's like a reverse sear almost. And all those grilled sauteed onions on there. Just add that contrast with the sweet. And I keep getting the lime. You know how I know I like it? This is how you know. And no, that's not West Side. That is a W. One more of these. Go away. Get away from me. That's phenomenal. Moving right along to part 3 of stuff that I know I'm gonna love this too. If you've watched me do any of the Banana King videos, something like that, you know that I'm a big fan of choripan. And all choripan is, underneath these fries, is this case Cuban style chorizo, right? So that's what we have here. Obviously on some good Cuban bread with some sauteed onions. It's always super simple, but if you got good chorizo and you just cooked it and you just seared it off and you got this Cuban, I already know I'm gonna love this. Why am I shaking the sandwich? They even got their own chips. The thing I noticed with this chorizo, it's a lot milder than a lot of different ones that I've had. I've had chorizo from a lot of different countries. They're all similar, but slightly different. And this one's like a much milder sausage. But it just works well. And this freaking bread, man. Damn. It is such a simple sandwich. And it's just done well. And that's how most of the food that I've had from here seems to be going. Whether it's just slow cooked beef, seasoned well, good rice, yuca, to this. They're not doing anything that's like this overcomplicated stunt type of food. It's just good cooked seasoned food, and it is fantastic. Pickle onions? Yeah, definitely. That's strong as hell. Alright, let's try it. Try it. They definitely do that themselves. Feels good though. Y'all know I like this stuff because I'm barely talking. Just the bread alone. You can put anything on this bread, it'd be delicious. Damn. Even the chips. Slam dunk. I'm trying not to eat everything, but I am going to take one more bite. Look at that. Ain't nothing fancy, man. Just good. Just yes. I'm moving along to dessert. Everyone's eating everything. Now, if you're new to the channel, hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for watching the length of this video. It does mean a lot to me. When I get food, I have some usual suspects that if I see it on the menu, something comes over me or I just have to get it. And this is no exception. I think at every Latin influence restaurant that I've gotten, I have had to get this if it was on the menu. And this one looks slightly different, but I'm here for it. We got the goat, in my opinion, one of the goats. Tres leches cake. Some people call it pan tres leches. All it really is a butter cake that they use 3 different kinds of milk. Usually it is evaporated milk, condensed milk, and then regular milk. Sometimes they use heavy cream, but you get it. Tres leches, 3 milks. And you cook the cake, and then you soak it. So if you look on the bottom, I'm trying to tip this over. Maybe you can see. There's liquid on the bottom. It's always very light and airy, and it's just sweet. And okay, enough. I described it. There's my food history class for today. Tres leches. Who's ready? What is that? They put their own spin on it. Oh. I'm getting a heavier dose of cinnamon than I'm used to, but it's like good. Almost like you would taste in rice pudding. The cake itself is a little denser, but because there's that cinnamon tone to it, and damn, that's good. a little more liquid. It kept well. I like mine a little bit on the denser side. Sometimes I've had tres leches where they're almost like mushy. Cake integrity. You know, I like the word integrity. To that integrity, see how it's still not falling apart as soon as I touch it? But it still melts in your mouth. And it's got that good sweetness to it that I'm used to with tres leches. And the only difference, like I said, is there's a lot of cinnamon. Reminds me almost like a rice pudding taste. Man, that's good. Oh. Okay. Damn. To wrap it up, I gave this place a 5 last time. It's going to stay at a 5. And I want to try more of it. So don't be surprised if I spin back again. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If you live in my area, and you want some Cuban food that's just done right, go there. Casual Habana, Hackensack, New Jersey. Worth the price of admission. You love to see it. That is it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow in the kitchen. More content. I love y'all to hand signs. They made it to YouTube.